Instagram. Good morning to you here on Facebook. Tanj here, leadership and mindset specialist for real estate and property professionals that really want to grow themselves, their people, and their business in the least amount of time. Amy Gray, boom, straight out of the gate. How are you, my love? Welcome. It's Rapid Fire Friday time. That's the time when I reflect on the top one-on-one coaching sessions for the week and just rapid fire my tips to give you access to have a breakthrough, solve a problem, a key to open a door where you've been stuck. Simon Cryer, hey, how are you, my friend? Brooklyn's in the house, service built. I can't read the rest of it. G'day. Kelly Smith, hi. Hey, Rockstar. Oh, look out, I'll take it. Happy Bass Day to those of you who have a business and are doing your bass. Brendan, good morning, my friend. I will call you after this morning once I've taken the kids to school to answer your question from yesterday. Sean, good morning, Sean. Namaste. How are you? Good morning, Greg. Great to have you here. So Friday is where, as I said, I just reflect on the coaching themes for the week and just rapid fire some tips to give you access to really live a life you love, grow a business that supports you and your family, and helps you achieve the things that you desire in your life. Now, the plan was for me to be riding 500 kilometers across Thailand right now, and today would have been the day that we start riding, I believe. So I'm here in Melbourne instead, waving my pom-poms for the team that are over there, thanks to the great work of Hands Across the Water. So just want to give a shout out to the 40-odd real estate professionals that are currently riding to change the kids' lives, who have got less fortunate circumstances than us. Because I was riding, it means I actually cleared all my one-on-one coaching clients for about 10 days. So I've had some time to catch up on stuff, but I have had a couple of sessions. So I want to share with you some of the standout things. Good morning, Fiona Knight. If you're watching this live, please type in live. If you're watching the record, type in the record. First of all, how are you? How has your week been? How has the second month of the new decade been for you? Are you winning your games? Are you stuck? Are you oscillating? Are you feeling good? Are you challenged? Where are you at? If we have some time, I'd love to just provide some Q&A if possible. Awesome. All right, great. So my first question to you, is your communication ineffective? And how do you know? One client I had yesterday morning is a director in a business. She heads up the property management arm of the business. Winning. Good on you, Simon. Good to hear you're winning. Hey, Wen79, thanks for tuning in. And she said to me, Tanj, I've got a particular team member that I've been asking her to hand in the maintenance reports. Their standard in their business is when they do the maintenance, inspection reports. When an routine inspection is done, the standard in the company is that the landlord gets a copy of that full and completed inspection within the same day. Now, this particular team member has been communicated to for ages, and it's been 5 weeks and landlords still aren't getting their routine inspection documentation. So that's actually not okay, right? Julie, good morning. How are you, my love? Fiona, glad to hear you're live. George, how are you, my friend? So, and as you can imagine, the leader is frustrated. And typically what we do as leaders is we point the finger and complain about how the staff member is not doing what we've asked them to do. I see this happen a lot. So if you are a leader or if you are a parent, the same thing applies. Consider that if you're asking someone to do something and the result that you desire is actually not showing up or manifesting, it's not them, it's you. I'm going to say that again. It's uncomfortable, I know. It's not them, it's you. It just means, by the way, Greg, I just wanted to quickly throw in here, congratulations for your phenomenal results in your business and the amazing growth that you have had across leading and managing like hundreds of people from various different age groups who are all volunteers. Bravo. Crowd goes rah for you, my friend. Just wanted to throw that in there. So consider that if you're asking and the result isn't happening, it's not them, it's you. The communication is ineffective. What's coming out of your mouth to try and produce a result is not working or landing. And here is what happens a lot when I'm coaching leaders. they're asking, here's what I need you to do, here's what I need you to do, here's what I need you to do. And the staff member goes, okay. And there's a whole bunch of things that you've got to check in with first. Number one, are you telling them why it matters? Because most of your staff members, hey Kelly, hey Ivana, most of your staff members have a lot to do, and they're trying to prioritize based on what you're giving them to do. And you as a leader will have a higher hierarchy or a higher understanding of what needs to be done and why. So if you're making requests and the action isn't happening, you probably haven't explained why it matters. You probably haven't unpacked the impacts if it doesn't happen by when you say, and you probably haven't built the framework of the 3 steps for success, which is the architecture in which I do everything in my business. You are very welcome, Greg. Thank you. It's been a great year, and I promise to answer your questions over the weekend. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So the 3 steps for success are: raise your standards, simplify your strategies, and elevate your state. Consider this leader wants their people to raise their standards. And a simple strategy is effective communication. If you're asking, it's not happening, your communication is ineffective. Good morning, Erin. I'm curious, have you ever had a situation with a staff member that you've asked them to do something and they haven't done it, or they haven't done it by when you asked? Or your kids? Hi. So Simone, great to have you here. So have you explained why you need it done? Have you explained the impacts of if it isn't done, what actually happens? Have you used the 3 steps to success to articulate the importance of this action being fulfilled? Right back at you, gorgeous. My kids often, I hear you, Kelly. Louise Shillings, good morning. Stick around because I've got something to share. So that's a really critical piece for effective communication. But here is the piece that my leader got really clear about yesterday. I asked her, I said, look, have you asked, so I said, you've asked this staff member to do this action. You've told her why it matters. She said, yes. I said, you've asked her multiple times. Yes. She said, yes. And you're still not getting the result. Exactly. And I said this, how are you doing it? She said, no. And this is a mistake that leaders make a lot. They ask their people to do something, their people go, yes. They're not doing it. They ask them to do it again, their people go, yes. And the leader doesn't stop to sit down and go, can I ask what's getting in the way of this being done? Because leaders don't like, many leaders don't like confrontation, and they feel like asking why is a confrontational one-word question. Does that make sense? And you have to get curious though, because if you don't go under the hood and ask why, you won't understand what's getting in the way, and you can't use those 3 steps for a solution. Is it you need to raise the standards of that performer, that staff member? Is it that they need a simple strategy of how to prioritize? Or is it their state? Is it this they're just overwhelmed or not focused or not present? Hey Melba, great to have you here. Thanks, Amy. So ask why, and don't do it in an attacking, aggressive, defensive, pissed off way. Ask, hey, look, I'm curious. What's getting in the way of this being done? And one of the ways it's going to support you as a leader to ask that question without resentment and heat behind your words is if you come from a belief that everyone works with the best intentions. Because if you have a definition of your staff that they are actively trying to annoy you, or they are hopeless, or they are ineffective, or they just aren't good at their job, then you'll see them and speak to them in that way. But if you see your staff members like, they're really trying their best and they're coming to work with the best intentions, and it's my job to ensure they win, and it's my job to make sure that they have both the skill and the will to succeed. Are they skilled to do the tasks that you are asking them to do? Do they have the resources to effectively fulfill on it? Are you setting them up for success? A. And B, if they do, what if it is a language issue? Then, Erin, I'm going to ask you, if you were using the 3 steps for success as a doorway, raise your standards, simplify your strategies, elevate your state, how would you answer your own question? I'm curious. Let me know. Hi, Holistic Homes. So that's what you want to ask yourself. And if you've put those things in place, are they willing to apply those skills and apply them consistently? That's a performance issue. And that's where leadership really kicks in. That's great advice. Thank you, Simon. I really appreciate that. So that's my little tip. If you're asking your kids or your staff to do stuff and it's not happening, have you told them why it matters? Have you shared the impact or consequences if it's not done? Do they have the skills and resources to do it? And are they willing to do it? And do you have agreement? Too many leaders and parents just yell out what needs to be done, but they don't stop to get agreement from the other party. And if you get agreement, then you're more likely to get an outcome. Here we go. Amy, as a leader, you have to understand people are different. Find a way to communicate with each one in a way that gets through to them as well as the individual. Yes, and beautifully said. One way that you can do that is through representational systems. From an NLP or neuro-linguistic programming perspective, there are different ways that we absorb and communicate, absorb information and communicate. Some are visual. So when you're talking to a staff member, if they say, oh yeah, I see what you mean here. This is a good strategy for sales too. I talked about this recently. Yeah, I see what you mean here. Then they're visual. They want you to show them how to do things. If another staff member says, yeah, I think I hear what you mean, they are auditory. They learn by listening. So you want to communicate through words to them. And there are other people that learn and absorb information and communicate kinesthetically or energetically, which means they feel. So it's like, yeah, I feel where you're going with that. So listen to your people. Listen to your kids and listen to your clients and your partners. Do they say, I see where you're going, I hear what you're saying, that feels good to me? That will help you understand which way to best communicate to them. I would not be able to talk if I tied my hands down. Erin says, I suppose break it down a bit more. It becomes frustrating when it's so constant. Yeah. So if it is a language barrier, it might actually be a language barrier. So perhaps a translator app on your phone that you have there when you communicate. Like really, there's so much technology that can build efficiency and effectiveness if it is a language, because if you break it down in the same language, it might still be hard because it's the same language. But if you have a language translator and you try that, because technology is there to build efficiency and effectiveness so we can be freed up to be doing the things that work best for us, which is that human connection, try that. That's my little tip. Amy says yes. All right, so that's my question for you. If you're finding that you're asking for things and they're not happening and you're having high levels of frustration, there's a little strategy for you to apply. I want to talk about also now, does that make sense to you, by the way? Let me know if you got something out of that, especially if you're a leader or a parent. Now, this week for me personally has been a theme around energy. And because I haven't been back to back with clients because I was meant to be in Thailand, I am just completing a whole stack of stuff that's been building up for me whilst I was stuck in Thailand with Kaya being really sick. Thank you, Sean. Great, perfect sense, he says. So long to-do list in areas of my life, personally and professionally. And because I'd had a big emotional kind of wave recently and I just needed a big reset, I noticed that there were a few days where I had been procrastinating, doing all these things. Have you ever done that? Have you ever procrastinated on the actions that you need to take in life that have just feel like they're, you know, sitting on your shoulders or just over your head, okay? So that was me for a few days and I could just feel this heaviness and this weight. And yeah, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. And so I just absolutely eliminated all distraction, email dings, social media, like just even music. I like to work with music, but no music. I just had a big pot of Genmar chai tea and absolutely started smashing out all of these actions. And here's what I noticed. The sense of completion is a direct antidote for energy. It's a direct recipe for vitality, because consider incompletion is like this. When you declare that you're going to do something, or where you have an action to take, whether it's a financial action like your tax or BAS or filing or follow up or whatever it is, When things are incomplete, consider they're like energy balls. So you're standing on a cliff and there's all these energy balls with different subjects. And every time it's incomplete, your energy is out there. I know this sounds woo-woo, but stick with me. Your energy is out there taking your attention, taking levels of your subconscious, causing big distraction, because our subconscious mind is addicted to completion. It wants to cross the T's, dot the I's, put things in the containers, in the files, and clear the deck. So when you complete things, it's like literally popping that energy bubble, and your energy and vitality can come back to you for creativity and output for the next thing that you want to birth into the world or produce or design or innovate. Does this make sense? So if you're wanting more energy in your life, practice the art of completion. Multitasking is not an effective skill. It just means you'll have 17 incomplete folders open at once versus just completing one thing at a time. And once you get in a rhythm, once you get on a roll, it starts making a massive difference to your energy. So that's just another thing I invite you to look at today. What is one thing that is draining your energy? It could be cleaning your car. It could be cleaning your garage or the junk room. It could be your tax. It could be a conversation that's holding energy that you need to complete. Where are the incompletions in your life? And how can you make sure you handle one of those today, and what difference would it make? Hey, the healthier Hervey gal, great to have you here. I'd love to hear from you. What are you hearing for yourself around the art of completion, and what do you think the difference would make for you in your life if you did take one action, even today or at least this weekend? Okay, and by the way, that includes unsubscribing to stuff. Like if you're getting emails from stuff where you had to get a voucher for a bag, or just unsubscribe, complete, clear, sort. Okay, now, speaking of energy, I want to give an unbelievable, big, fat, juicy shout out to a soul sister of mine and a beautiful naturopath practitioner called Louise Shillings. She is based in Baldwin in Melbourne. She's a beautiful, divine healer with unbelievable amounts of compassion and empathy and mastery in the realm of optimizing your health and vitality. Kelly says here, this is totally relevant for me. There is something that has been playing on my mind for weeks, and I was just thinking about it last night, sister. Let this be your little knock on the screen to say, get it done. Get it done. I can tell you, I am telling you how good I feel completing a whole bunch of stuff that's been there, like claiming the $10,000 travel insurance from us being stuck in Thailand, claiming the $2,500 from Telstra because I had to use my hotspot on my phone when my Telstra service wasn't working in my business. Like just this stuff that's there for me to do, right? So yeah, really invite you to go do that, Kelly, and check in with me and let me know how you feel when it's done. Holistic home. Whoops, I meant to type everything seems incomplete. And that's when overwhelm kicks in. Holistic home. When everything feels incomplete, it is a massive drain of energy, and then we feel overwhelmed, and it can give us access to experiencing the symptoms of depression because we feel like we're in quicksand. Does that make sense? So I invite you to just go for just complete one thing at a time and get the momentum, and your subconscious brain will get the message that you are a powerful completer and you're restoring your energy. Thank you, Simon. I really appreciate your so good comment. Yes, I'm exhausted. I know. The holistic home. What is one thing that you can complete today? What's one thing that's just there? Let us know. Have accountability in a public declaration space. Back to my friend and the divine naturopath, Louise. So she has a practice in Baldwin. Louise, if you're still on here, you might be working or taking care of kids, but if you're on here, type in what that machine is called. So she has a machine that was built in Russia, I think by the team in NASA, and it tests astronauts pre and post space travel. When I say tests, far out. It literally scans all your body, all your systems, your reproductive system, respiratory system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, nervous system, your skeletal system, your muscles, veins, arteries, capillaries. It scans everything, and you see it on the screen. And it drills down and assesses the cells in your body from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3 are kind of optimal health, like new regenerative cells that are just beautifully full of great energy and vitality. And anything from a 4, 5, 6 is that the cells in that part of your body it's identifying are kind of headed in the wrong direction. And if we don't reverse the direction it's heading in, it could result in significant illness or even disease. Amy, absolutely. Where I am at the moment, we'll just have to stop and start somewhere. Amy, tell me one thing. Where are you going to start? What's the one thing you're going to do today, or at least this weekend? Now, this machine that I went on ages ago literally helped me save my life, because our natural salt levels as human beings should be hovering at around 7. Mine was 68.4, which meant I was a heart attack or stroke waiting to happen. And to look at me, you would think I was pretty fit, right? But my blood was as thick as molasses, and it should be fluid, beautiful, watery, yummy, juicy, red stuff. Okay, so the protein in my red blood cells could not feed my body, and my body was self-cannibalizing, eating its own muscle to get protein. Okay, so thank God for that, because pretty quickly I went on a blood thinning regime and I'm of great health. And that was some time ago. So I took Kai to see Louise yesterday. We went on the machine. As you know, if you've been following me, Kaya had pneumonia, and potentially she was 90% diagnosed with tuberculosis, which is a fatal disease if you don't address it, right? So that's why we were stuck in Thailand. We put Kaya on this machine yesterday, and it was miraculous. I tell you, like, this stuff blows me away every time. I never take it for granted. The machine is scanning her lungs. It's showing black 5s, which means it's headed in the wrong direction. There's obviously some damage and impact there from the pneumonia and potentially tuberculosis. So the machine diagnoses, and then it just prescribes the treatment and the frequencies that you need to heal it. And then it heals you. And I'm not the person to describe it. You need to call my girlfriend Louise. So we're watching the screen, and we're watching the machine actually produce the healing frequency for it to address the issue and reverse the cellular pattern of headed in the right direction to now going into a beautiful, healthy direction. As the machine is sending Kaya frequency to her lungs and the capillaries in her lungs, Kaya starts crying, releasing energy. She has a hot flush. She takes off her hoodie. She's like, oh my God, Mum. She's got sweaty palms and energy pouring off her hands, and she has chi, or life force, energy running through her. This young woman has had zero energy for 6 weeks. She's been fully depleted and exhausted, and has been a battery on empty. Does that make sense? Absolute empty. Yes, it's so good. I'm glad you're still with me, Simon. So she's sitting there, and all this energy is pouring out of her hands, and she's just crying, releasing. After that treatment, the machine went up into Kaya's brain, and as soon as it started treating her brain, she got this unbelievable headache and shifting of energy, like massive. And then after that, it disappeared. And for the first time in 6 weeks, she had energy, vitality, could take a full breath in her lungs. She was glowing and smiling and couldn't believe it. And then we're supporting her with some natural remedies and herbs. G'day, James. Great to have you here. We're talking about energy. So I say this because I really believe in Western medicine, and if it wasn't for the antibiotics we had, obviously, for her while we were in Thailand, g'day, then she may not be here today. So thank you for that. But I also believe that prevention is better than cure. So I wanted to do a shout out to my girlfriend Louise. And if you are navigating any kind of physical ailment, anything that needs healing, and you're in Melbourne, I want you to contact Louise Sheelings and go and have a consultation with her, and go on this amazing machine to scan what's happening inside every part of your body, and then reverse engineer a strategy. If you are interstate and you're planning a trip to Melbourne, you make sure you book in to see her. If you're interstate and you don't have a Melbourne trip planned, then book one and make it about your health. What's the point of entering 2020 and a whole new decade if we don't have the energy to navigate the life that we have created or hold space for the future that is calling us to be the best versions of ourselves? I believe we need to look after ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Make sure that your physical health and vitality is taken care of. Eat fuel, not filler. Eat high nutritional quality food rather than just on the fly quick stuff that's just going to fill the gap. And mentally, complete stuff. Like I said before, the power of completion is about restoring vitality and energy. Complete conversations. End those relationships, file those files, clean out that garage, wash the car, clean out your wardrobe. Like, it's unbelievable the amount of energy and vitality you'll get. Sort your cutlery drawer. I don't know what it is. Clean out your database. Walk into your office and feel, what is the energy like in this space? Here at Property, great to have you here. You need to go on that machine. Amy, I'm telling you, sister, make a list of everything that I have to do, become calm and get my confidence back. Yes, but Amy, my question is, what's the one thing you're going to action today or on the weekend? One thing. Let us know, because I want to hear it from you. Make a list for sure, sister, do that. But I want to know, what are you going to action? Completion is critical for mental clarity. Number 3, emotional. The only way through is through. And I know this for myself. I've had a really big 9 months in my life, and sometimes we can't just keep operating on top of it, because our body is going to let us know if the pressure cooker is running on high. So where there is emotion, let it flow. Emotion is just energy in motion. So when you allow yourself to have a cry, scream in the pillow, go for a run until your shins are screaming, like, let the energy get into motion so you can express it and release it in a really healthy way. Don't suppress it with artificial drugs or recreational drugs. Don't suppress it with alcohol. Don't suppress it with ignorance. If it's coming up to come out, let it out. Every time you suppress an emotion, you're actually giving yourself greater access to depression or symptoms of depression. Is defo cutlery for me? It's defo cutlery for me. You like the cutlery drawer one, do you, Greg? It's that third cutlery drawer, the bigger utensils. The tongs didn't get in the way of the bloody rolling pin and the wooden spoon, right? I know, riveting stuff here on Tanj, TMJ Coaching. Kelly Smith, sounds amazing. I need to go on that machine. Who else have we got here? Your guidance is absolutely what I needed today, Amy. I'm so happy for you. Emotionally, let stuff flow, let it out, let it ride, let it dissipate. And spiritually, if you don't feel fulfilled, connect with nature. Mother Nature has this unbelievable capacity to remind us of our essential essence. So if your communication is ineffective, make sure you're clear about why, communicate why you need it done. The impacts if it's not done, make sure your people have the skills and then the willingness to do it. Ask what's getting in the way if it's not getting done. Believe that everyone is coming to work with the best intentions, and you will interact with them in a much better way. Fiona, can you post her details, please? Very interested, would take a trip to Melbourne for that. Fiona, hallelujah, you must. It is the bomb. Let me also say, the herbs and tinctures and remedies I have no energy myself. I've been really depleted. I really have. And she made me up this unbelievable remedy yesterday. After the first 10 mils, I'm like, whew, right? I'm not kidding. I'm like, would not endorse anyone that I didn't feel was A, genuine, B, here for the higher purpose, and C, had the goods. And, I only work with people that have the goods. So yes, Fiona, I will absolutely post it in here. The power of completion, my invitation for you for today, complete something that's hanging over your head. Stop ignoring, stop procrastinating, stop walking past, stop pretending it's not there. Clean the cutlery drawer, clean your car, clean out your database, file those files, do your tax, have that conversation, clean out your wardrobe, make space, complete stuff, pop those energy bubbles, restore your vitality. And finally, Call my friend Louise Sheilings. Heal what is incongruent with your highest vitality. Restore the energy that is naturally running through you. Hello, Rand W, Bondi Junction. Great to have you here. And do yourself a favor and invest in you, because your body is the temple of your soul. Your life is what you make it, and who knows? Quick in and quick out. Let's make sure that you've got optimum vitality, joy, and health, so you can really have a great experience of this gift called life. I hope you got some value out of today. Less kind of real estate coaching, more just health and well-being and energy and vitality for you. But yeah, please contact Louise. I really, really would love you to benefit from your experience here. You are so welcome, Sean. Have a great weekend. I will be back for Mindset Mastery Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be open mic Monday. You can ask me any question, any area of your life where you feel stuck, where you are oscillating, where you need some coaching. I'm all here for you. It's free. Make use of it. Share it with your friends. Go take an act of completion. Maybe it could be ringing Louise and booking in to have a session. I love you. Thanks for choosing to spend your time and energy with me this morning. I wish you much joy, much vitality, and in the words of the late, great Maya Angelou, as always, remember, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thanks for making me feel purposeful and of value by giving your time and energy to me today. If you know someone needs to benefit from this free content every week, let them know. I ask for nothing other than a bit of support by letting people know they don't have to suffer alone. Okay? There's no sales. There's no free set of steak knives. There's just love. There's just support, and there's just great tools for transformation. Have a beautiful Friday. Happy show day to you if you're in real estate tomorrow. Go well. Much love. Be healthy. Call Louise. See you soon.